Hello, and welcome to Barrett's Botany. Now, this series is going to be more of my personal botany collection and updates. Instead of just random information about plants that I do not have, this will all be information about plants I do have. So, let me show you what plants I have first, as a little introduction video. So this is my first plant right here. It is a Ficus microcarpa, which I got at IKEA for a good price, and it's been doing well for a big box store plant. Big box store refers to stores such as Lowe's, Home Depot, IKEA, anywhere that it's sort of like a chain, as opposed to little mom and pop shops. Next to it, right here, is my jade plant, which is the offspring of my dad's jade plant that he keeps at his office, which is the offspring of my grandmother's plant, my dad's mother's plant. So this is third generation in the family of jade plants. My next plant that I will be discussing is my pitcher plant. This one is a carnivorous plant because it traps insects such as flies and then digests them. Now this guy requires special soil and distilled water for it to grow, because it grows in poor nutrient poor soil. These next ones are my moon cactus. The moon part only refers to this part, which does not photosynthesize and requires this part to live. However, moon cacti are only found on these types of cactus. So that's why you call the whole thing a moon cactus instead of just this one. Next is my Echeveria, which is a little sickly right now, but should be doing well soon enough. These are two more cacti. I forget the name, which I will add in post-production in editing. But yeah, this is what I call my spiny cactus. I will also include the name in editing, but it is prickly. This next one is a Echeveria. This one's a Horothea. They were both little guys and haven't quite rooted yet, but they're growing. They're doing quite well. This is an adult Horothea. Actually, I'm not quite sure that this one's a Haworthia. Doesn't quite look like one, but I don't know. This one's a spider plant. Interesting thing about those guys is that, like a lot of other guys, it has babies. But these babies come in about roughly that size. And just grow off of one of the leaves. Now, when it has that sort of striped pattern that you see right there, it's called variegated. These are some propagating succulents. Not all of them are going to survive, but that is to be expected. So I have some jade plant in there, some that I got in California. Just a whole bunch of stuff that I will identify if they grow. And I'll make a video later if they do grow on it. This one is one of my more interesting plants because this one is actually a mangrove. And a mangrove is a giant tree that grows in water, as you can see right there. I picked this one up in Florida as a seed, and it's been growing. It's surprisingly doing well. Now this next one is probably one of my personal favorites. It is a bird of paradise, and it might not look like much right now, except very tall. But it will actually get beautiful flowers, and if they bloom soon, I will do a video on them. Now this guy isn't looking amazing, but he's been doing well. He used to not get enough sunlight, but I have since put him near a window and a light fixture, grow light, and he's been recovering quite nicely. Sorry, just have to fix my camera really quickly. This next one is a lucky bamboo, which is very popular in the aquarium world because you can grow it just in water, as you see there. These ones, this one is hyacinth, and this one is water lettuce. I'm not quite sure what this one is because it just showed up in my pond, but it is probably the one that's doing best in this bucket here. This guy is aloe vera. One of the more popular succulents. And what I mean by succulent is they keep water in their leaves. Now I'm going to show you how to water a plant. And the first thing you want to do, so as to not overwater it, is you want to take your finger, stick it maybe 1 knuckle depth down, and see the soil moisture. This one is a tiny bit moist, but it could go for a watering. So what you do after you test the soil is you get your gigantic watering can and you just sort of water slowly as it's doing right now. Now, eventually, if I can manage to get this to go, because I filled this all the way up, not knowing that I would just do one down on the floor. But what you do is you slowly water, and then eventually so you water a little bit more, take some breaks in between watering, just to make sure the soil doesn't get too moist, and then eventually, as you can see now, it starts to drip out of the bottom. Now you want to do this slowly, as to not so that you don't overwater it and end up firstly spilling it out of the little tray that it sits in, and then secondly so that your plant stays healthy. Now, some other plants that I forgot to mention are these air plants, which are really interesting because, as you can see, they require no soil whatsoever. All you gotta do is water them once a week in the method I'm about to show you. I've got 3 of these guys. This one, which looks dead but isn't. And then this guy, which is really interesting because it has these really nice red ends. And then what you do with these is you put them in the water upside down as to not get the crown or the base of the plant too wet. Now, it might tip over. That's right. What you really want to do though is you want to make sure that it dries upside down, and that's really where you gotta watch for the crown. The last few I have are this guy, an Amazon sword, these guys, micro swords, very tall plants. This one, my frog is coming out to say hi. That's probably Kermit. These pennyworts, which look like little lily pads. And then up here, if I can get it to focus, is water sprite. And that one can either be planted at the bottom of the tank in the gravel like the rest of them, or it can float at the top like I have it right now.